vampire and dragon defeated. Oh, we had our fun. Finished every quest released in 2001. 22 full years of questing, baking a death we cannot do. RuneScape 3 Hardcore Ultimate Ironman, questing through 2002. Welcome back to January 1st, 2002. It's a brand new year, and there's a lot of things that are going to happen. Not on this first day, though. Unsurprisingly, there was no update on New Year's here. But we don't have to wait very long before things really start going. On January 4th, 2002, Worlds 5 and 6 came online. So now we have even more options for world hopping. Really hasn't been an issue and is going to continue to not be an issue. Hello, Essence Sibling. How you doing? But yeah, world hopping. More worlds, more players can play at the same time. Always a good thing. To an extent, but most of the time, yes. January 10th, 2002, to help with all the people that are trying to play at the same time, the client was compressed a bit more. Now it was only 687 kilobytes. So trying to download everything and all that, much less strain on the servers. Very good stuff. January 23rd, 2002, got a nice little news post about the intentions for the members update. Various things that they were looking to add, stuff they were working on, what was getting done, stuff that would be done later in the future. But giving you a general taste of what's going to be going on soon. On January 26th, 2002, had a bit of a bug fix. You now have to keep wielding your bow to keep shooting arrows. Some kind of weirdness where if you started shooting, you could take off your bow and still keep shooting, apparently. Sounds pretty hilarious. Not that bows are all that good at this point, but an interesting development for sure. And also, dropping items now appeared instantly to everyone else. Try to encourage people to not drop their items. It's not worth the risk. If you lose your internet, it's gone forever. You won't be able to get your stuff back. And that did not last very long, because on January 29th, 2002, the dropped item changes were reverted. So now you can drop things, and they will stay only visible to you for 1 minute before everybody else can see them. Still, really should not drop your items. You might lose your internet connection and lose your stuff. It's a bad idea. Stop dropping your things, people. And also, a clarification. One of the things included in the members info dump was that rune battle axes and two-handed swords were going to become members only. But there was a fair bit of outcry to nerfing free-to-play, as it would be now. So those are going back to staying free-to-play, and new, stronger weapons will be added instead. So keeping the free game as it was. On January 31st, 2002, a news post was released asking people to please stop contacting Jagex about problems with their ISPs. From what they could tell, a specific ISP in Northern Europe was having problems routing to the game servers. And then people were asking Jagex why RuneScape wasn't working, when it was really the ISP's problem. And they, in fact, did not have control over how multinational ISPs route their internet. So, no help would be found. February 4th, 2002. More clarifications and confirmations about membership being $5 a month. You'd be able to pay with credit cards or money orders. And new areas would start popping up in game that you can't reach yet. So don't try to go over there. You can't. You have to wait until Members is released. And it would not be much longer. February 21st, 2002, got the big, detailed announcement of all the new stuff coming. We got new items, new places, new quests, new monsters, new weapons. All sorts of really cool stuff. And we don't have to wait the one more week before it's released, because on February 27th, 2002, Members was released. There are many, many new places to see. So we're going to start with one that's a bit more contained and simple. On the island of Karamja, we now have Brimhaven. Not really too much to do here, all things considered. It's mostly here for a quest, but there still is a few things. We've got Devon's Amulet Store, where he sells literally nothing. Used to sell a Sapphire Amulet of Magic. Would have been kind of cool. We can still sell the other amulets to him, I guess. Might have been more useful back when stores that specialty items, you could sell them for more to the shops here. If he sold an Amulet of Strength or an Amulet of Power, definitely would make that purchase. That is a completely reasonable price for an upgraded amulet. But no such luck, unfortunately. We've got a pirate pub here. Got some beer and beer glasses and a bronze axe on the table. So that's definitely something. Of course, you're going to get a pirate pub here. On an island and all that. Some of these buildings aren't here yet. Like the Agility Arena and Sandy's Shack. But I guess the Agility Arena is still there. It's just more of a house with a bed in it. Well, that's okay. And those beds are purely cosmetic for now, since the fatigue system doesn't exist yet. But that also gets removed, so in the long run, it's not a huge deal for us. But an interesting note for when that actually comes out. Probably added a bunch more beds when that happened, but for now, not a big deal. Anyways, we got the shrimp and parrot over here, where we can trade with Alphonse the waiter. And he sells a variety of things. We've got herrings, cods, tunas, lobsters, and swordfish. Not carombons yet. That's not a thing. And they're even in larger stock, but for more expensive prices. Except for the first two, I guess. But we don't really need to purchase food. We can just go fish them nearby anyways. So. And with the shop restock rates, it's not ideal. And pretty much the only other thing here is this large building over here, which we will get to in a bit. Everything further west, and pretty much everything else here, and the ship connection don't exist yet. What we do have is a guy up here that can do your noting, or rather sorting, of fish. So you can bring them over from the docks, get them nice and stackable, and just keep fishing here on Karamja. Besides the quests, we're not going to get very much use out of Brimhaven. At least for now. But it's a nice little spot. And the only way we can get here is to come through Karamja. That's okay. Next, a much more dangerous locale. The wilderness. Get some new stuff. Was very, very bare out there. Only a few things existed previously. A couple mines, some ruins, a graveyard, Chaos Temple, lava maze, ice plateau. But now we got a few new things, and some new monsters. We've got such locations as the Dark Warriors Fortress with Dark Warriors, the Bandit Camp with bandits, Red Dragon Isle with red dragons. The names are pretty self-explanatory, aren't they? Due to the nature of the wilderness, no complete maps were ever given in RuneScape Classic. So we're really, really working with what we got here. But luckily we're not going to be spending a huge amount of time here either. There's also a few other locations that exist at some point. Like the very nearby steel mine, the boneyard, the Chaos Ridge, and some other ruins in the east. But really nothing we need to concern ourselves with. We're not really after anything that the bandits, Dark Warriors, or Red Dragons would drop anyways, so they are free to stay out there, and we will stay well away from the wilderness. Next up, just southwest of Falador, we've got the Crafting Guild. Requires level 40 crafting and a brown apron to enter. At least it does until 2014, where brown apron's no longer required. But of course, if we want to come in here, we will go get a brown apron. There's a lot of stuff here for all your crafting needs, except for a ring mold for some reason. And there's also not really anything on the tables here either. Probably removed at some point due to the tool belt already having all the things. But they've got a lot of good stuff in here. We've got a mine with gold, silver, and clay, so that's correct. There's no actual furnace, just a pottery oven and pottery wheel. So you couldn't just get the gold, turn it into gold bars, and use the molds to make things. No furnace in here. But there is cows. There's a tanner upstairs. So you can do a lot of leather work in here. And One hilarious thing is the door here requires a brown apron to open the door, to both go in and go out. So upstairs, there is an emergency escape ladder down into the cow field. So if you drop your brown apron inside here and lose it, you can still leave the crafting guild. And then, right over here, we've got Hobgoblin Peninsula. Unsurprisingly, it has hobgoblins. Who would have thunk it? And also some snapegrass spawns. So that could be useful. Heading north here, we've got not the Makeover Mage. That's not here yet. What we do have is Dark Wizard Tower. We got Dark Wizards doing Dark Wizard things, like attacking me, being Dark Wizards, lowering my defense, being very rude. Gonna get out of here. So if you want to try getting some runes from them over here, there's a decent amount of spawns. That's pretty cool. We got Falador West Mine, which should have copper, tin, iron, and coal, but now has just silver and coal. So, effectively a coal mine. Not a particularly useful place, even if it did have silver, since there's no way to cross the Falador wall yet. That is later. And then, as we move up towards Taverley, things are wildly different. We've got Nora T. Hagg's witch's house here. That is not where that's supposed to be. Or not where that is yet. But we're going to worry about the entirety of above ground Taverley after we visit the Taverley dungeon. Right down here. There is all kinds of cool stuff down here in the Taverley dungeon. We got blue dragons, baby blue dragons, black demons, black dragons, chaos druids. Just a huge place full of a huge amount of different things. And we were going to have to go through a lot more of it since there's no shortcuts yet. So, if we want to get further into this dungeon, we're going to actually have to do things. And we have pretty good reasons to be in here. Except not right now. We don't have food. So, messing around in the largest, most dangerous dungeon in the game, probably not the best plan right now. So, instead, we're just gonna get out of here. Taverley itself has been massively changed over the years. Especially in 2012, when it became more of a tutorial zone, and a lot of things were moved, added, kind of merged with Burthorpe to the north. But there's only a few things here we can actually use. First up, we already ran past it. We have the witch's house, which was moved down here to the south since it's so large, and did not really fit with the new town layout here. What with the whole river and lake kind of crossing where it would have been. Right over here, we've got the Taverley Gate. Always stopping free players from getting into members areas. One of the classic locations. So the witch's house would have been right here in RuneScape 2. It's actually to the south in RuneScape Classic here. So it seems like a lot of things are shifted in the transition from RuneScape Classic to RuneScape 2 also. Just like the sides and orientations of dungeons and things. Right. that's not what we need to worry about right now. We can't really go around it since there's a lake in the way too, so we don't have a huge amount of options here, unfortunately. What we do have is a herblore shop. Right here. With Jagex. And yes, herblore is a thing. We will get to that in a bit here. And oh, what a thing it's going to be. Got a lot of interesting things in this shop now. But really the only things in here are vials, a pestle and mortar, which isn't even in here anymore. Gonna have to see where we can get one of those, actually, if we ever want to use a pestle and mortar for anything. Again, one of the casualties to the tool belt existing. Doesn't need to be in a shop since everybody already has one. But also, Eyes of Newt. One thing we might run into is going to be shop restocking times, since there's limited supply and the shops are per player, not per world or anything. But we will worry about that when we get there. And worry about it we will. My goodness. Aside from that, there's only a few other things actually here in Taverley, although they have been spread out quite a bit. We've got the crystal chest right here, which we need a crystal key to unlock, which comes from a loop half and tooth half of a key that you can get from drops and such. And that will give you a dragonstone to make dragonstone jewelry at very high crafting levels. But we don't have a dragonstone, we don't have a crystal key, we don't have the crafting levels to do anything with it, so that is going to be useful in the future, but not right now. And then the last thing in Taverley has been moved way up here now in very ridiculous fashion for us. Not that we're going to be visiting this location again, most likely, but just to show what's here, we can go to the two-handed swords shop with Gaius here. He sells bronze through adamant two-handed swords. An adamant two-hander is an interesting proposal. Could possibly check to see if this has better total stats than a rune mace. We'd definitely be losing out on a lot of accuracy, but we get the full damage potential of either two-handed or dual wielding with Evolution of Combat here. A shield is not particularly helpful in most situations. But since it's not a rune two-hander, and that's not a thing that we can get, probably not going to matter. Also, we're already level 60 attack, so we got plans in that regard anyway, which I'm pretty sure would be better than an adamant two-handed sword in any situation. We will probably not worry about that. If we continue north from Taverley, he says as he runs south, because that store should be way south, we get to the Druid Circle, where we can talk to Cake Mix and start Druidic Ritual. That is one of the 5 quests that were released at the same time here. And that gives access to Herblore. Again, gonna have to deal with that in a bit. That is, if we check the list here, the first of the 5 quests, Druidic Ritual. Then we have Lost City, Witch's House, down in the Witch's House, no surprise there. Merlin's Crystal, and finally, Hero's Quest. Which we would start here with activities at the Heroes Guild. Quite the step up in requirements, as we saw, but we need to do the other quests that were released first before we even can get to that. So that is going to be, again, something we worry about later. For now, we are just looking around the world here. All this other stuff doesn't exist. There's no cows, sheep, mining, crafting area, flax, farming, fishing, other ways through places, player-owned house portals. There's no bar or lodestone or mill or bank or summoning area or agility shortcuts or port. Yeah. Basically, there is Witch's House, a Herbler shop, a two-handed sword shop, Druidic Circle, and Heroes Guild, and the Crystal Chest. No. Not a huge amount of stuff going on in Taverley just yet. And that brings us to the next area, White Wolf Mountain. Very fun. The wolves are much weaker than they used to be. Previously, this was a very, very dangerous situation for low-level accounts trying to get over to the other side here. In RuneScape 2, there's actually a way to go around the mountain without really fighting any wolves or getting attacked at all. So that's much safer. But for now, we need to deal with the updated White Wolf Mountain here from 2016, which involves aggressive level 42 wolves here in multi-combat, thanks for that, and tunnels that bring you to different sections of the mountain. Here's a rock slide heading down into the underground areas. But instead we can just run past here, run past the big wolf, and that gets us over to the other side. So, nothing we really need to worry about at our level and equipment. Potentially dangerous if you are very new and not prepared. And that brings us to Catherby, the new fishing hub for the world. We got all kinds of fishing here. Really, really cool stuff. Including completely new fishing training methods like the big net and sharks. We can't fish or cook sharks yet, so that's not something we can do. But we can use this as a place to get lobsters or tuna and swordfish. Big net fishing is a thing. All sorts of cool stuff. And then we have Catherby, which was also reworked at the same time as White Wolf Mountain in 2016. So there's different things in different locations here, but most of these things actually exist. We've got the fishing shop here, where we can sell all manner of fish that can be caught here. From shrimp all the way up to sharks. Big net fishing gets you mackerel, cod, bass, and other various shenanigans. Like leather boots and gloves, oysters and caskets. A potentially reasonable way of getting some gems, big net fishing. We will see if we worry about that. Also, does not sell the fly fishing rod because there is no fly fishing to be done over here. And we also note the lack of trout and salmon sellable to the store. The fishing shops are very connected to where you can be fishing. So, Swordfish is still the best we have access to, because sharks is quite a ways away. A good opportunity for training some fishing and cooking in the future, though, so not a bad idea. Next store we have here in Catherine is the archery store. There is lots of interesting things in here, and I think all of them are wrong. Possibly bronze arrows is correct in here. Everything else is not here yet. Eventually there's going to be such things as other arrows and arrowheads, but not these different crossbow bolts, because those don't exist in Classic at all. No brutal arrows or ogre comp bows, that's for sure. Or the fletching master and regular skill capes. Should be regular shortbow and longbow and crossbow in here, like your regular range shop in Barrock, but those have been removed. And later there will be an oak shortbow and longbow, but those are also gone. So technically this is just a way for us to buy additional bronze arrows at a reasonable price. So I'm okay with that. Range ammunition is going to be a problem in the future, because we need a higher tier ammunition to actually do decent damage. And as you can see, the quantities continue to decrease from the shops here, so not going to be doing a huge amount of range for quite some time, though. So hopefully we're okay with that. Otherwise, in Catherine, there is a guy that can cert your bass and sharks. Very convenient for trading. We got a bank, we got a bed, and we got the candle store. Trade the candle maker here. He sells candles. Who would have thunk it? Simple and effective. Besides that, nothing else here in Catherine. So we'll continue to the very edge of the current world here, where we have some beehives. We've got Camelot Castle up here. And to the south, we've got a little fort. Originally, this was called Fort Grimwold, later changed to Keep Lefay. It's also got some giant bats nearby. That is us getting attacked by a bat. We're going to leave. That is the edge of the world here. There also is a few other places that we can't really get to right now. Namely, Intrana and Zenaris. But we will get to those during our questing here. So that is the members update. Bunch of new places, bunch of new things, new monsters, the new skill Herblore, which we're just going to go deal with right now. New items, new weapons. I guess just, yeah, new weapons. We're only going to worry about one of them though. But anyways, that is what we need to do here. So we're going to cross back over White Wolf Mountain, get attacked by tons of wolves. Not a huge deal for us though. And get over to Druidic Ritual, where we need to do some time traveling. The original version of this quest is no longer in the game. It was reworked pretty thoroughly in 2012. It also no longer unlocks the Herblore skill. So technically, we could go start training Herblore right now. But that's not authentic, is it? So instead, we're going to go do the original Druidic ritual before we do the time traveling. And our running over a mountain has left us quite winded, which I guess is not a huge surprise. Running past all those wolves. Definitely a bit of exercise there. So we just need to get up to the Druid Circle here. And we can get on with the first quest here. Druidic Ritual. We start the quest by talking to Cake Mix. Hello there. What brings you to our holy monument? This Altar of Gothics and Druid Circle and all that. I'm in search of a quest. I think I may have a worthwhile quest for you, actually. I don't know if you are familiar with the stone circle south of Varrock or not, but that used to be our stone circle. Unfortunately, many, many years ago, dark wizards cast a wicked spell on it so that they could corrupt its power for their own evil ends. When they cursed the rocks for this, for their rituals, they made them useless for us and our magics. We require a brave adventurer to go on a quest for us to help purify the Circle of Varrock. We've been over there. That's where we fought Delrith during Demon Slayer. And there are definitely plenty of dark mages in that area. So we will help. Okay, I will try and help. Excellent. Go to the village south of this place and speak to my fellow druid, Samphew, who is working on the purification ritual. He knows what is required to complete it. Will do. Okay. A worthwhile goal, I would say. Anything to stop the dark wizards and all their shenanigans. Can't be having that. We need to find Samphew. And it actually is here to the south, so that, at least that's still accurate. What can I do for you, young'un? We could say we don't need to speak to him, but we kind of do, if that's part of the quest we're doing. I've been sent to assist you with the ritual to purify the Varrockian stone circle. Well, what I'm struggling with right now is the meats needed for the potion to honor Gothics. I need the raw meat of 4 different animals for it, but not just any old meats will do. Each meat has to be dipped individually into the Cauldron of Thunder for it to work correctly. And where can I find this cauldron? It is located somewhere in the mysterious underground halls, which are located somewhere in the woods just south of here. They are too dangerous for me to go myself, however. And that is all the info we get. We need 4 meats, and then we need to bring them to the Cauldron of Thunder. Sounds like a swell time. Luckily, the meat diversification update has come out, so there actually are 4 different meats that we can go get. So we're going to go around to 4 different animals that drop meat. I think the only 4, realistically. And we're going to start with, I guess, the hardest one, but really at our level it's not a huge deal either way. We're gonna go attack a bear. They have barely any health. Barely any health. But and get some raw bear meat. And then the other 3 are a little bit easier, but also a little bit further away. So let us get down to another animal. Up next, we've got chicken. I guess it does still have less health than the bear did. Still, one-hitting things. Still okay. And there is raw chicken. Unfortunately, there are not cows here yet, so we're going to go a different location for that. But still relatively nearby. We can manage. But before we go to the cows, we're going to first head down here near Port Sarum for a giant rat. Not these goblins. A little bit further. Giant rat. And get some rat meat. Oh boy. You know things are going good when you've got some raw rat meat. And we saw cows earlier this episode in a new location. So we'll head over to the crafting guild. I'm not going to do any crafting with the cowhide that's going to drop. But that's okay. We just need the meats. At least right now. And there are plenty of cows to be had here. There's a crash star. That's not a thing yet. Attack a cow. Just one-hitting everything today. At least so far. Cows do not drop staffs of air. I just grab this raw beef and be on my way. And we can head up this direction to get over to the Cauldron of Thunder. The underground halls, or whatever Samfi was talking about. That is the Taverley dungeon. So we can get in there easily enough. Just running through this completely empty field here, next to the mine. And now we're walking. That's fantastic. Well, we really can't complain. At least we are using run. Because that is not actually a thing yet, my goodness. Down into the Taverley dungeon, but not very far into it, so we should be fine. We got some skeletons here. And then we have the door. Originally, there are 2 sets of armor here that come alive when you open the door and stop you from going through. Because they get attacking you. And since in RuneScape Classic you have to wait 3 turns before you can run away, definitely made this part a little more dangerous. But here is the Cauldron of Thunder. Not in use anymore. Should be full of mysterious liquid. So we're just going to dip all of our foods in here. Got the raw bear meat, raw chicken, raw rat meat, and raw beef. Now they are magical. Run back past the skeletons and get out of this dungeon. Our first foray into the dungeon, not having to face any of the dragons and demons and all that nonsense. So, one adventure completed. Many more to come. Many more to come. And with all these magical meats, we can return to Samfi here. Did you bring me the required ingredients for the potion? Yes, I have all 4 now. Well, hand them over then, lad. Thank you so much, adventurer. These meats will allow our potion to honor Guthix to be completed, and bring us one step closer to reclaiming our stone circle. Now go and talk to Cake Mix, and he'll introduce you to the wonderful world of herb lore and potion making. Okay? Herblore. Very exciting. Very cool. Very, very worthwhile reward, all things considered. So let us get back to Cake Mix here. Hello there. I've word from Samfu that you have been very helpful in assisting him with his preparations for the purification ritual. As promised, I will now teach you the ancient arts of herblore. Herblore is the skill of working with herbs and other ingredients to make useful potions and poison. First, you will need a vial, which can be found or made with the crafting skill. Second part's actually not true yet. Glass crafting is coming pretty soon, but not quite yet. So, we just need to find/purchase a vial. Then you must gather the herbs needed to make the potion you want. You must fill your vial with water and add the ingredients you need. There are normally 2 ingredients to each type of potion. Bear in mind, you must first clean each herb before you can use it. You may also have to grind some ingredients before you can use them. You'll need a pestle and mortar in order to do this. Herbs can be found on the ground and are also dropped by some monsters when you kill them. Let's try an attack potion. The first ingredient is guam leaf. The next is Eye of Newt. Mix these in your water-filled vial, and it'll produce an attack potion. Drink this potion to increase your attack level. Different potions also require different herblore levels before you can make them. And that is quest complete. Access to the herblore skill, an experience reward, but we actually have to do the actual quest in order to actually get our rewards here. And so, we need to travel through time. So let's see if we can line up a good angle here. This looks like a good enough spot to open a rift in the fabric of reality. So let's go with that. Okay, here we go. Off to January 2012 to learn the real secrets of herblore. Or something. Have to be careful of all these druids. Please step away from the time portal. It's highly dangerous. Not for me, though. I'll be fine. Did that other druid come back? He went through with me. He's probably fine. Anyways, we return with knowledge. Level 3 herblore. That is some quest requirements and some other things here too. Rogue's Purse, Snakeweed, Neem Oil, Weak Magic Potions in Daemonheim, Sagewort in Daemonheim, and Ranging Potions. That is a newer version of a Ranging Potion, which is not a thing yet. In fact, Ranging Potions are actually level 72. So, there's been some changes to low-level herblore, which we will get to as we get to it here. But what we need to know is the only potion we can make is an attack potion at level 3. And so, we will now endeavor to make some attack potions, because we need to start training herblore here. It's a whole new skill. Our only sub 30 skill, but we're not going to be going that far this quickly. It's going to take a bit more than that for us to get to 30 herblore. Herblore is going to be difficult for many reasons. Oh, yeah. First, we need a source of herbs. And probably our best bet is going to be Chaos Druids. They drop a lot of herbs. They're not too strong. Very, very manageable. And also, right here in the Tamerlane Dungeon. They are level 32. You have to not talk to Kindia the Exile. At least we can't attack them, so that's alright. And they've got quite the drop table here. They drop herbs. That's great. They drop some runes. So, in general, this should work out nicely. The full drop table here is a bit of a mess. Mostly due to the fact that there is chances of additional herbs based on what the first drop was. But overall, we're just looking for any herbs on the floor. Also, coins, bones. No druid robes, though. You would think they might drop druid robes, since they are chaos druids. But the chaos part is the more important part here, apparently. And also, specifically on the herbs department, there are a few herbs that don't actually exist. Namely, Lantidimes and Torstals. So, besides that, we're actually good. Gosh, if I could get a herb drop here, that'd be great. Just getting a whole bunch of robes. That's not very helpful. Do you really want... Are they trying to convert me to be a druid? There's a herb. A Harlander. Great. And another Harlander. Alright. Originally, all these herb drops were unidentified. So you needed to figure out what they were with a bit of effort. Basically, you would just click on them, and if you had the herb lore level, you could do stuff. If you didn't, you didn't. Here's a vial of water. We'll take that too. That's going to be very helpful. Right now, all we can do is make attack potions. And that is vial of water, Guam, Eye of Newt. We're just going to keep smacking these guys, picking up herbs. And we do need to be aware of the level that it takes to clean herbs here too. Because that's also one of the things that changed. Specifically the lowest level herbs, namely Guam, Marentil, and Terramin. So we just need to not accidentally get the cleaning experience for those, because that wouldn't be quite accurate. Basically, we could probably just drop any other herbs besides Guam at this point. It's not going to get us very far at this stage. Picking up the vials is actually fairly helpful, since we don't have a huge amount of vials available from shops quite yet. We'll keep picking things up here. Basically, we want to pick everything up and then kind of go drop the ones we can't use further away, so they're not muddying up the ground here while we're trying to look at things. Yeah, so far we're doing perfectly fine as far as combat is concerned. Besides their little weaken that they can do, they're pretty much just a melee enemy that is significantly weaker than we are. So we can manage well enough in that regard. There's a Quarm over there. The real question is going to be, what our long-term herblore training methods are going to be here. Mostly it's going to be attack potions, unfortunately. And that is going to make things a little awkward. Luckily we start with level 3 here, so we don't have a huge way to go before we can start doing other things. But then that is also considering the level changes. So we'll see what we can manage. And this room full of rocks and stuff is also not ideal, really, for actually trying to do anything. So it could be worse, I guess. Right, we're going to drop the Harlanders. Those are way too high level. And the Avanto and the Quarm. We will clean the Guams. We got 5 of them so far. It's a good start. Put some of those in the vials here. Get 1 experience from this. That's alright. And then we got another Avanto we can drop. A Raynar. Can't do much with that yet. We get a few more levels. We can technically clean Marintil. And that would be a few more experience. But we will keep those for now. There's a Dwarf Weed. There's another Guam. Delightful. Yeah, the real question is going to be the secondaries, unfortunately. I also don't think the getting weakened is going to be a huge situation here either. Termin Haralander. Another Quarm. More Robes. Yeah, generally, really just need the Guams. We will see what we're thinking. Also, I guess I'll take these Law Runes. That's good too. I'm happy with some Law Runes. No complaints there. Yeah, just with the drop rates of herbs and stuff, I think this is probably our best bet for training Herblore. Definitely would make everything a lot better if we had a bank. That's for sure. There's a Lantidime. That doesn't even exist. Wild. Suppose we could look at the herbs as they're coming in. Only pick up the ones we really need. But then we just have a whole bunch of stuff on the ground being annoying. That's not exactly the most ideal way of doing things here. There's another Guam. Awesome. Maybe try filling up the inventory with Guams a bit. See how that gets us going. There's another Guam. And Terramin. Alright, let's drop some more stuff here. We'll drop the Terramins and the Harlanders and the Lantidime. The Marintil we're kind of close to being able to get a level. Here's 2 more Guams. Drop the Dwarf Weed. We can also sort the inventory slightly. Make better use of our space here. It's got a whole pile of herbs here that we can't have. We're level 3. We're very close to level 4. Are those herbs out here? Yeah, that's from that pile. Maybe we should drop it a little bit further away. There's a Cadentine. A Harlander on the ground. If we get, like, I think 1 more Guam, and we'll get a level here. Then we can see what we get at level 4 and what we actually get at level 4. They also drop Mithril Bolts now, which is also not quite accurate. We're working with what we got here. And what we got here is not a huge amount, in all honesty. Smack another Druid. Get another Harlander. We got another Guam in there, right? 1 more. And that is level 4 Herblore. We got one more Guam. That would give us 10. That'd be a good start. Drop some more stuff here. Quarm. Level 4 Herblore. That is Attack Mix 2 and Valyrian in Daemonheim. So that's nothing. Let me just get one more Guam here. Then we can go actually make some potions. The real test is going to be how fast the shops restock. Because that is going to be the concern here. As far as attack potions are concerned. Because getting the Eye of Newt is necessary. Without the Eye of Newt, we don't got much going on. Luckily we can get Vials of Water here, so at least we got that going for us. So that's one less thing we really need to worry about. They also dropped the Small Bladed Bronze Salvage in place of the Bronze Longsword. For whatever reason, these guys that don't use weapons dropped Bronze Longswords. So sure, it's fine. It's whatever. And there's Guam. Perfect. One more Guam. Put it in the vial. And we will get out of here. So yeah. Basically, this is not going to be very good experience per hour. Whatsoever. And that is assuming we can continue even making more attack potions. So, this could be a situation. We will see what we can actually get here. We do need to also worry about the changes in levels. That's actually... These Marintil might be less useful than I was hoping to be. Again, due to the level changes of things. We'll worry about that when we get there. Trade Jagex. And he should have very specific items in his shop here. Make sure we purchase the correct vials here. You should have the empty vials. Okay. Well, if it's going to be empty vials, that's not actually too helpful for us here. We do need the Eyes of Newt, though. So let's grab the Eyes of Newt here. Should be 3 coins. They're 3 coins. Perfect. Thank you, shop help button. I accidentally clicked on you. Make attack potions. For 25 experience each. Oh boy. And that is level 5 Herblore. And that is a quest requirement. Tarrowman, weak ranging potions, magic potions, and ranging mix 2. Okay. So, Tarrowman. Unlocking at level 5 Herblore. That is not how it used to be. And not going to be too helpful for us here. Because we won't be able to make the potions that Tarrowman can be turned into. Yet. Because that's at the wrong level. So instead, that should have unlocked cleaning Marintils. But unfortunately it didn't. So, just gonna drop these Marintils here. Once we get past the first couple levels here, this actually improves and isn't a problem. But I'm going to... I guess we can drink one of the attack potions. That's fine. This also means we can make attack potions for when we're trying to do training or boss fights or anything like that. So that'll be something. Now we need to find if there is a water source around here. Since all we have is... I mean, we can just keep using the same vials. At least we have that going for us. I think. Hopefully that's actually a thing. Water source search. Okay. From what I can tell, there is only one source of water here in Taverley, and that is a sink in the witch's house, which we don't have access to yet since we haven't started that quest. And also it doesn't exist anymore, so weird. So we're going to have to either get vials of water as drops here, wait until we've started witch's house to be able to use a different water source, or go slightly further afield here for a little bit while trying to get water. And for now, I think we're just going to try to get like an inventory full of guams here, and whatever vials of water we get along the way. I guess that also we need to figure out how the Eyes of Newt's going to work out. So we will start by just getting some guams. Be a good enough idea. There is 51 defense. That's pretty neat. No unlocks there. And our inventory is getting full enough that we can head out. There's 2 more guams here. Drop all the rest of the herbs. Got a decent supply here. Got some more vials of water to put them in. Dropped my lobster pot. Picked up some nature runes the guys dropped there. Those are going to be pretty handy pretty soon here, so figured I might as well have some nature runes along with my law runes. Also getting a few more law runes. That's always nice. Until I feel like I might want to drop the law runes for an inventory space, but we will see how that goes. We will see how that goes. But the first thing we need to see how it goes is the Eye of Newt respawn rate here. We bought 5, went and fought a whole bunch of Chaos Druids for a while, and now there are 6. So that got us 1 more Eye of Newt there. Not ideal. There's also a free one here that we should be able to purchase. We'll see if maybe that respawns faster. There is 6 herblore. And that is nothing. Okay. Yeah, we should be able to get way more than 10 Eyes of Newt, so just buying this one for 3 GP, not a huge deal. There is the opportunity of the Eye of Newt pack. That's maybe something we could try using. It is definitely going to be more awkward to deal with. But we absolutely should have access to more Eyes of Newt here. So, we will see. For right now, at least for this run, we're going to go fill our vials and go get Eyes of Newt in the other possible location. So, see if that'll help us a bit here. Empty the attack potion. We got, looks like 10 more guams worth. So that's fine. So we need to head over to Port Sarum. Also going to check water locations again. There is, in fact, an accurate sink here in Port Sarum, which we can use for our vials of water. We will do that. Put the guams in. A decent amount once you get a reasonable amount of the inventory filled with guams to go here. Definitely not a huge amount of experience in the long term. Trade Betty. She has 300 eyes, which is definitely better. It's a bit further of a run than Taverley. And there's not supposed to be really 300 eyes in here exactly. But we have access to world hopping now. So there should be almost that many either way. So I'm fine with that. We're still spending the 3 coins per, so that's good enough. And make some more attack potions. There is level 7. For the inaccurate level for strength potions, weak melee potions in Namenheim, and magic mix 2. And then also level 8 herblore for Relicum's balms and aloe in Namenheim. Brilliant. We can empty all of these, and you do get vials back after you use your potions, so that's also good. Fill them all back up again. Put some more golems inside. I suppose we could technically bring Eyes of Newt back with us in order to use up the vials. That would kind of take up a lot of inventory space while hunting for golems, though. We might want to limit our number of vials we have at one time. Say maybe 5 at a time would be fine. 5 and then any additional vials of water that we get. We were getting more golems than vials of water. So if we bring a few vials of water back with us once we're done, that could work nicely with the inventory space usage. So, gonna go do at least one more trip. We can also take a slightly different route than running back through Falador. But having access to the eyes in a reasonable number is actually pretty useful. I suppose with the rate that things respawn, we could go through all 300 eyes, but I guess it all depends how crazy we go on the attack potion grind here. See if we can get in another trip here. I got a dragon stone as a drop. Unfortunately, that is not actually on the drop table. Not that we could really do anything with it anyways, even if we actually did have a dragon stone. But it's definitely something. Also brought some Marantils and Terramins that we'll be able to use here. This is the wrong shop entirely. I'll pick those back up. Move these to a actually useful location here. This would mostly just be inside the rune shop here. Runes and other things shop, I guess. Trade, Betty. Get some Eyes of Newt. Make some potions. Brought a large number of Guams and Guam Unfinished this time. There is 9 herblore. That is Defense Potion at the completely wrong level. Marantil at the wrong level, but now we actually can clean Marantils. There comes mixes, strength mixes, and weak defense potions in Namenheim. Brilliant. Get some more Eyes of Newt. Make some more potions. Yeah, this supply of Eyes of Newt should be okay. And there is level 10 herblore. Nice milestone, and a quest requirement. We need 4 more eyes here. We're gonna do that. Make another potion here. Pick up the herbs on the ground here. Clean some Marantils. And then drop them. And then take the Terramin, clean that, and drop that. Because actually making those potions is still not hugely worth it. Drop most of these. Bringing back 5 vials seems like a reasonable plan. Fill up the inventory pretty nicely. Fill these vials. Use the herb. Use the eye. I should definitely time how much herblore XP this is per hour, because it's not a huge amount. And we're just shy of 11. Well, that's okay. So empty all these. And we are prepared to go do some more herblore training. If we fancy. Also getting plenty of runes, so that's nice too. So we are well on our way to training the new skill. I will look into other potions as we get more levels here. But there's still problems with the level changes here too, so. Attack potions, tried and true. But we've got 4 more quests that were released on this date. So we got a lot more to do. And things are going to get complicated. Next time. Goodbye.